and welcome to the Fish Room. I'm Rachel O'Leary and it's time for a species spotlight. This week I thought I'd tell you about a fish that's a little bit different for me. Now I don't generally work with this family of fish, but there's no denying they're fantastic for a nano tank, and that's the Endlers Livebearer, Poecilia wingei. They are petite, colorful, adaptable, easy to breed, and all around great fish for a small aquarium. So let's take a look and I'll tell you more about them. This small tank holds what's called Class N Endlers, and those are ones that are known to come from wild stock. Endlers come from various regions in Venezuela where they inhabit sort of poolish ponds that are full of dark algae. At least that's what I've read. This particular type is called the Orchid Endler, and it's a line bred variation, but since the original parents are known to be wild collected, they are considered Class N. Now there's three classes of Endlers Livebearers. There are Class N, which are ones that are known to be pure Endlers, that and where there's documentation that shows that they've come from the wild, or their parents were, and they've never been kept with other live bearers of any type. See, because Endlers can hybridize, not just with guppies, but with other live bearers. So, because when these guys hybridize with guppies, they produce viable offspring, and offspring that can reproduce, there's always been a bit of controversy about whether they're a guppy type or if they're their own species, but currently it's thought that they are definitely their own species, and it's extremely important to maintain these guys away from other live bearers because their wild habitats are being destroyed rapidly through pollution, and there's also been guppies introduced to their wild areas, and there's also been predatory fish introduced, which means these guys' longevity in the wild is critically endangered. So as I mentioned, these are Class N, meaning that they originated from a wild population in the Cumana region of Venezuela. Now there's also K class, which are Endlers that have been hybridized with guppies. And these are super popular. They're beautiful, they're hardy, but my preference is to maintain pure strains. So this tank of Endlers is all the way across the fish room from my other tank of Endlers, which I'm pretty sure is not pure. You can see the males are extremely striking with bold metallic coloration. The males only get just under an inch, females about 1.25 inches. The largest females I've ever seen have been about 1¾ inch. These guys are prolific. There's fry everywhere. Females give birth to anywhere from 10 to 20 babies about every month. And the young reach sexual maturity in about 2 to 3 months. So having areas of dense planting like this protects the fry. Now they don't generally predate on each other. Some females will eat fry, but for the most part, the vast majority of the fry survive. So maybe this should be called Endlers Livebearers, a cautionary tale. Let's go over to my other tank and I'll tell you more about that. This is a tank of mixed Endlers. These are substantially larger than my other tank of Endlers. This group of Endlers adult size, especially the females, is substantially larger than the wild group that I have that's confirmed to be Class N. So I think that these are probably some sort of Endler guppy hybrid. Though they do have all the characteristics of Endlers, so you would probably call these Class P, which means they have an unknown origin, but they exhibit Endler characteristics. They've never been kept with guppies, and I was told that they're pure Endlers, but I'm skeptical. There's an albino strain in this tank, and a more classic looking Endler strain. You can see the males exhibit that beautiful coloration. Endlers are phenomenal fish, but you can see how many are in this tank, and I didn't add had that many to start. They breed prolifically, and they seem to require very little culling to maintain their health. Now, in the wild, Endlers come from moderately hard to hard water with pH all the way up to 8. In the home aquarium, they can take a wide range of conditions, but some hardness is really needed for them to thrive, in my experience anyway. They can take a range of temperatures, all the way from 64 to 84, with mid-70s being ideal for breeding. I've had some Endlers live as long as 5 years, but I think on average 2 to 3 years is more typical, especially if you're keeping them in warmer temperatures. You can see all these females, which are largely colorless, with those black bellies, are pregnant, which means each of these fish will have anywhere from 5 to 20 babies every month, and really can overpopulate a tank quickly. So the cautionary tale part is that if you're going to work with a Livebearer like these that don't particularly predate on their young, and it's a small tank, you really have to have a plan for the fry. You can see some younger fry right up there at the surface, not at all intimidated by their parents. These guys are super easy to feed, basically taking anything they can fit in their mouth. They do look wonderful in a planted tank. I found that these guys are fantastic with some of the smaller Danios that are really shy because they have no clue that they are low end of the food chain and are extremely outgoing. In fact, in this tank, you may have noticed I have a couple of dwarf cichlids, Laeticara, and these guys are not even afraid of them. There are quite a few natural color forms and recognized line-bred, pure Endler classes out there. And you know, for a Livebearer, they're probably my favorite. I don't work with many Livebearers because my water's a bit soft for them, so I have to deliberately harden things for longevity. But all in all, they are beautiful, outgoing, easy to breed, and a wonderful fish for any level of hobbyist. Now, I am not an expert on Livebearers, so forgive me if I made any mistakes in any of my overview of this species. All in all, I think they're probably one of the best beginner Livebearers out there. They're extremely hardy, not prone to illness, easy to feed, easy to breed, and undeniably beautiful. As always, let me know what you think below. Make sure you stop by my Instagram, my Facebook, and my website, MsJinx.com, where you can find my upcoming speaking engagements, my current stock list, and information on all things nano. And I have quite a few speaking engagements coming up. As always, thanks for your support.